Joe Sports Channel proudly present Respect Women 110% t-shirts. These shirts come in 4 different colors: blue, pink, green, and yellow. These shirts cost exactly $25 US and Canadian. With each purchase, $5 will be donated to the Women's Breast Cancer Research Awareness. And don't forget, every Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go to YouTube and search up Joe Sports Channel to catch up on new sports news and any special guests that may appear. And if you want to purchase more merchandise, go to joerooney48.wixsite.com/merch.
Welcome to Joe Sports Channel. You can follow me on Joe the Fighting John Instagram. You can follow me on Taker Devlin hashtag Joe Sports Channel. Ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls of all ages, to all the beautiful Boonie believers out there, it is May 1st, 2021, and I hope each and every one of you guys out there are having a fantastic day. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, if you see at the bottom, the Toronto Maple Leafs, yes, defeat and conquer the Vancouver Canucks 5-1. Thank you to Austin Matthews, not only 1, but 2. This kid is phenomenal. This kid has at least scored 1 or 2 goals a game. If he's not scoring goals, he's producing points. And let me tell you something. We have 5 games left, and I said last Saturday on Joe's Sports Channel to producer Clark, I said, Clark, if Austin Matthews gets 43 goals, I will send you a beautiful Maple Leafs hat from the great city of London, Ontario, Canada, to the great province of Regina, Saskatchewan. So fingers crossed. I hope he gets that hat. I want to send it to him. I want to see Matthews with 43 goals. Leafs win 5-1. Folks, we have 2 individual amazing human beings. One is from the great province of Vancouver, British Columbia, and the other man, you already know, Mr. John Lodonatus from Lubbock, Texas. One name man named Sicilian. You know, about a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago now, I had Sicilian on my show. And I remember introducing Sicilian. I didn't say his name right. It was Sullivan. Twice I said Sullivan, twice. And I just made sure today I want to correct myself and say Sicilian. So let's bring in Sicilian and John Lodonatus for the first time in a year. Ladies and gentlemen, Sicilian and Mr. John Lodonatus from Lubbock, Texas. How you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
All right. Hey, John.
Yep.
It is an honor to have each and every one of you guys on here, and especially you, Sicilian. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Joe. I'm doing fantastic, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come on the show. I know you've been busy. I'm very grateful that you had time to come on the show. And for an honor, I have your beautiful mother right on the right, just for you.
Yes, I see that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No problem. No problem. John, how you been, my friend? I haven't heard from you for over a week.
Fine.
Doing well?
Oh, yeah.
Doing well. That is good. I want to talk about first, folks, is the National Hockey League with this new team called the Seattle Kraken, as if that's their name. This team is the 32nd team franchise in the National Hockey League. So the NHL has 32 teams now. That's a lot of teams, a lot of competition. Once upon a time, folks, it was the original 6. You had Montreal, Toronto, the Rangers, the Red Wings. There was only 6 teams. Now there's 32 teams. I want to share the screen with everyone on here. To the chat, big win. Yes, Joe Booney. How is Ramadan? Ramadan is doing well. It's doing really, really well. We're 12 days away from Eid, so we're counting down those days. It should be a good one. So let's bring this up. Here we go. No, not that. Okay, so we are officially on the 32nd team in the National Hockey League. It tells you right here, folks, that Seattle is making a debut. The Seattle Krakens are free to make trades and sign players after making their final extension payment to the NHL. Seattle owner pays $650 million to become the 32nd franchise. The Krakens begin play next season. Sicilian, I know you're from Vancouver, British Columbia, and the Canucks are next door. Are the Canucks in Seattle going to be a rival?
Probably no different than probably how Calgary and Edmonton are rivals, because they're in the same province. We might not be from the same province or country, but it's only a 3-hour car drive or, about 45-minute flight. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. And I'm looking forward to potentially, even if they lift the restrictions, going to watch a game in Seattle. Why not? And spend a night there.
Yes. I heard Seattle's a beautiful, beautiful city, beautiful state. Yeah. It's a state, right?
Yep, it is. Well, it's a city in the state of Washington. Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. Yeah. I heard it's a beautiful, beautiful city. And you know what? I would love to go watch a Seattle game, when COVID ever goes away, we don't know what's going to happen with that, right?
Right.
John, nobody would have thought that a Seattle team would come, an NHL team would bring Seattle. Now they officially have. Next season, they will play. They announced that early Friday afternoon. You have any comments on that? Was Seattle coming to the NHL?
No, not really. Yeah. So, they've been talking about for a while now. I think so. It's a reality. So that's a lot of money. $625 million. Cool.
It was $650 million to become the 32nd franchise to begin to play next season. Now this is crazy. You look at teams like the Washington Capitals, Pittsburgh Penguins, Toronto Maple Leafs, Montreal Canadiens. They got a lot of cap on them, right? But how can you have a team like Seattle just throw this money all away? Where do they get this money from? That's what I wonder. Sometimes you wonder to yourself, is it the ticket pricing? Is it the arenas? What is it? I know when Vancouver first came around, the tickets were sky high when they first came around, because they want tickets, they want purchase, they want, the chips are expensive, the water's chips. Every time I go to the Scotiabank Arena, it's $5 for a water bottle. So does that money go to the owner? Does it go to the arena? I don't know. Maybe Sicilian can say something about that.
You know what, Joe? I've always wondered how the revenues are divvied up, and you're absolutely right. I think here at Rogers Center, I'm not sure what a bottle of water is, but I wouldn't not believe that it is $5 or maybe more. I think a burger is like $12, and if you want cheese on it, that's another $3, and if you want anything else on it, so you're going to pay $15 to $17 for a burger. That's pretty, and that's just the burger. You want fries? Well, that's another $7. So it's the old. I mean, let's face it. Who's the owner there? I got it at the tip of my tongue. It's almost Greek sounding. Do you remember who the owner is over there, Joe? He used to be. Yeah, he used to be. He used to own a lot of property in Vancouver with a partner of his, and then he went off into buying a franchise like the Vancouver Canucks. But it would be interesting to know how those revenues are divvied up, and I think that a good majority of it probably goes to the club for the obvious reason, because the people are driven by the team that's going there. So the people that come in and the marketing aspect, all of the above, the shirts, everything that is sold within the Rogers Center, I think that a good vast majority of those revenues goes to the team to fund the team for the expense of running the team. Because let's face it, it's not cheap. You pay whatever $650 million for a franchise to start up, and now you're out there with your agents trying to negotiate with other teams within the Western Conference. And that kind of takes me to the other factor is, will the Vancouver Canucks play the Seattle Kraken as often as we would see during a regular formatted play of the NHL? Because how many times do you see Canadian teams battling amongst each other? You don't. And we talked about that not too long ago. Yeah. Hey, this is different because it's Canadians versus Canadians. Whereas in the regular NHL format, you'd very rarely see Edmonton and Calgary play against each other. They eventually get knocked off by an American franchise team, right? So, I know I skipped from the revenue aspects to the gameplay, and now with this 32nd expansion team, are we going to see a lot of play between the two clubs, being the Vancouver Canucks and the Seattle Krakens, being right on the West Coast, 3 hours apart from each other?
Yep. It's pretty interesting. You look at like the Vancouver Canucks for a sec, and they're one of the newer teams out there. They've been around for 25 years, if I'm not wrong.
25 years, yeah.
25 years, 26 years. And they've always had a good team. They've always had a good team. They've always had something, competition. They had the seedings for a while. They had some good captains over the years. You look at this year with COVID, over 25 players got COVID-19. Everybody thought the Vancouver Canucks are going to cancel their season. You even said that with your own words on your show on Live Me, Sicilian Show. And then what do you see? About 3 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later, maybe even longer, they're back playing the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they beat the Leafs. Take me back to that, Sicilian, when you thought that they were done and they came back. Were you nervous? Like, were you shocked? Could you believe it or what?
I really thought that they were done. I really did. When you consider the closures that were suggested by Bonnie Henry, one of our chief health officers here for the province of British Columbia, and there wasn't going to be this, there wasn't going to be that. If you go out, you have to have a reason. All of the above. I get it. There's exceptions to the rule. Not that I quite agree with them, but hey, when the clubs sustain the amount of COVID confirmed cases, including most of management, I thought they were done. When they came back, they obviously didn't come back 100%, but they wanted to play. They didn't want to let their fans down. They didn't want to let themselves down, knowing that, it could have been an easy choice for them to say, oh, it's COVID, we can't come back, we're done. But they wanted to ensure that the fans got some kind of return of their club. And I'm not a Vancouver Canuck fan per se. I like the team because I'm from Vancouver. I love their jerseys. I love just the design. But at the end of the day, I'm a true Toronto Maple Leaf fan. And tonight I watched the game and I figured, they played really good in the first 3 quarters of the first period. And then that one goal, they caved. And for me, I've seen the Canucks cave so many times that it's almost predictable. They do have a good club. They're still a young club. They have a couple of vets on that team, but they just don't have, Joe, they just don't have that luster. I mean,
Tough when you've been around for over 25 years, you know, that's over a decade. It's more than a little bit more than a decade, right?
well,
It's
I just looked and they've been around for 55 years. I'm sorry, 51 years, Joe.
way
They,
off.
they started in the NHL with the Buffalo Sabres in 1970.
So they started from the Buffalo Sabres and they moved to the Vancouver Canucks.
No, they started when the Buffalo Sabres started at the same time. They were two teams that started in 1970. I'm looking at it right now.
Wow. So the Vancouver Canucks have been around
they
for a
were
while.
they were part of the second expansion of the NHL, and that was in 1970.
Wow. Okay. I was way off. Way
Oh,
off.
no. I mean, hey, you know what? I looked it up. I didn't even know. I thought it was only 25 or 30 years. But then I'm thinking, damn, I was at the playoffs where they went to the last game and lost. And that was in 90? It was in the 90s, or it could have been 89. And I remember being there for those games. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, I think they were playing the Chicago Blackhawks. Because I remember Denny Savard wanting to climb the glass. He wanted to kill me because I said something to him. I think I called him some kind of. I think I called him a dumb frog, and that was terrible of me to say that. But you know, I mean, I was young, right? Well, I was younger, and Denny Savard didn't take lightly to my comment because he took it as a discriminating term, and literally he just about climbed into the stands. And I thought, holy shit, I'm in trouble here. And I had to get out of it because I didn't want to get banned because they had another couple of games, but they ended up losing. I went to the finals and it was just crazy. Joe, it was phenomenal. It was just phenomenal, crazy, but it was really a hard loss to see them go that far and lose at Game 7 for the Stanley Cup. And I believe it was Chicago. I think it was Chicago.
What was the harder loss is when the Bruins beat you guys going back a few years now. Remember the riots outside?
Yes. I was not there. No, I wasn't there, but I remember that. That was terrible.
That was. But I want to bring this man on who's been waiting backstage for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him in. The Roger Report, Roger Raja Madawi. How you doing, Roger?
What's up,
Hey,
guys?
Roger.
No, thanks for having me on tonight.
No problem, my friend. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come on the show. I appreciate it, my friend.
No problem. I'll make time for you any time of the day, buddy. Hope you had a good day fasting. It wasn't too hard on you.
It was a fantastic day. You know, I spoke with you a few times on the FaceTime video and having the show now, you know, so thanks.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Really, and to be on the show tonight with two legends is really is surreal. I mean, to be on the show tonight with the man that you know I look up to, Mr. John Laurinaitis from Lubbock, Texas. How you doing, Mr. John?
Good. How you doing?
How's Lubbock?
It's all right.
Yeah, you are the legend of Lubbock, John. Don't ever forget that.
Oh, come on now.
No, you are the legend of Lubbock. Don't ever forget that, okay?
You say so.
Oh, I know so. And the world knows so. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Cheers.
All right.
And Mr. Sicilian, it is finally an honor to meet you.
Likewise, Roger. Likewise.
I think the last time we had a little chuckle about the bidet story, but
Yeah. And I keep hearing about the bidet story from your friend there, the host.
John, you got there a little cat on the show or what?
Yeah, he's jumping around here.
What's his name, John?
Tiger.
Tiger. Okay. Anyways, boys, how are you guys doing, Sicilian? How you doing?
Good. Thank you, Roger. And yourself?
Post, how's everything up there?
Well, you know, when you're out on the road, it doesn't look like there's a pandemic going on. A lot of people with masks, but it really doesn't look like a pandemic. It's, I'm kind of lost for words because this time last year, things were shut down. Nobody was on the road. A lot of people were at home. A lot of people weren't working from home because everything was shut down. You would think that with these new variants, when you turn on the TV, what do we hear? The first thing we hear, COVID, COVID, COVID. Everything's COVID.
Over here.
Yeah, it's happening all over the North American continent. So
The world.
when I see the kind of traffic that's going on, I got to ask myself if it's as dangerous as it was, if not more, and more complex a pandemic with, things spiking. Like every day things are spiking. I think we had, if memory serves me correctly, I had it up on the screen here. We had 740 cases today, and there were an additional 4 deaths today. And it seems to me that the daily average over the last month has been about 818 people a day.
God.
But I just don't know where it's going to go. I don't think we all don't know where it's going to go.
You know what? We just have to trust and have patience. The vaccines are out. I'm getting vaccinated next Friday. So it's going to be my first dose. So I'm getting vaccinated next week. We just got to trust and, these vaccines and, be patient. And hopefully this is a thing in the past. But let's talk about some positive stuff, man.
Sure.
We're here. It's Saturday night. We got 2 legends. And we got a good-looking man and Joe Booney wearing that suit tonight. What is that, Armani? Hugo Boss? What are you wearing tonight, Joe?
I'm actually, to be honest with you, I am wearing a Calvin Klein beautiful suit from the Bay, and I got this really nice outfit from Exeter, Ontario with my buddy. I love it. I feel blessed. The reason I'm wearing it is actually, to be honest with you, is because of you guys out there who support me and support me on a daily basis. Without you guys, this wouldn't be on. This wouldn't be on at all.
No, thank you so much for the show, and thank you for gathering us tonight because you know what? Hey, we can't be together sitting at a round table, but we're in an era of technology, and this is the best we can do. And you know what? Hey, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and that's exactly what we're doing tonight.
Right.
Absolutely. And you got to believe in yourself, and you got to have patience. Like you said, patience.
Do you see my hat? What I'm wearing?
I do, actually. I do.
And that because I'm very proud of what my Niners did this past Thursday night. A lot of people are giving them some grief. Some people are saying they swung for the fences and they took a big risk with Trey Lance. But I truly believe that they got the future there in Trey Lance. And you know what? I'm very happy. I've been extremely happy the last couple of days. I was kind of worried because we screwed up in 2005. We did. And we all know who we missed on, Mr. A-Rod. And so we couldn't miss on this one. And I sure hope that Trey Lance is the man and the one that's going to bring number 6, number 7, and number 8, and 9 and 10, hopefully, to the Bay Area.
Well, you guys are due for a Super Bowl. I can tell you that. You guys are due for a few ones, A couple of years ago, up over 10 points with over 8-9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you guys just crumble like the Maple Leafs did back in 2013 against the Boston Bruins at the TD Gardens. Exactly the same thing. You were pissed off. I was angry. I was depressed. I went to school next day. I was angry. I was an angry kid. You're an angry man. Sports, we love our teams, and when our teams lose for a championship game,
they become a part of us, right? They become a part like our children, or like they become a part like something that we do on a regular basis, right? They just they're a part of us, right? Yeah. So for me, it's the San Francisco 49ers and the Toronto Raptors and the Blue Jays. And hockey, that's probably my 4th favorite sport, but I like the Wings and I like the Leafs. So, seeing that the Wings are just in a rebuild stage for the last couple of years, I want to see the Leafs do well.
What are your thoughts on Seattle Kraken, the new team, the 32nd team? Like that move? What Seattle did, or what?
Sorry?
Do you like that move?
Honestly, I would like to see the team in Quebec. I would like to see a team and another team maybe in Toronto. Like they got 2 teams in New York. for Seattle, but I think it's just all American and the way they're basing it. They want to grow the sport south of the border. So to me, it's nothing big. I mean, big deal. Are they going to have a rival with Vancouver? I heard you. Maybe not, but we'll see. What's next? Portland going to get a team? I mean, who knows? I mean, Gary Bettman, he thinks this is working out, so he's just, he's taking risks, and paid off for Vegas. Let's just say they made the cup in the first year.
First year.
You never know with Seattle. They get a couple of good players in the expansion draft a couple of players, and a couple of cast-offs from other teams. They could be a good team, but I mean, I'm not really a fan of it. I would rather see a team in Quebec, to be honest.
To be honest with you, too, I agree with you. And let me ask Cecilian this question. Why don't they put a team in Saskatchewan, Regina? A team out there. They have the Rough Riders.
East Coast. East Coast.
Put a team in London, Ontario. We have a lot of hockey fans here, a lot of people that support hockey.
No. Nova Scotia. What about
Nova Scotia?
Some great Sidney Crosby and Nate McKinnon are from Nova Scotia. The two best players right now in the game. And don't you think they deserve a team up there? Come on.
Absolutely. When I went to Halifax to see Abdul Rafi, let me tell you something. Hockey fans all over. They would have an amazing time down there if they had a National Hockey League team. Yeah. Where do they put one? In Seattle. Hey, there's a lot of people in Seattle. Maybe it's going to work out. Maybe it isn't. Like you said, to Vegas. First year, they went to the Cup, and they're on a crazy winning streak the last 8 games from last Saturday, I heard.
I wouldn't know. To be honest with you, I honestly, aside from football, it's the only sport I really watched religiously. Even with COVID going on, I can't seem to get myself into basketball. It's not the same. I can't seem to get myself into hockey. It's not the same. Maybe the highlights. I know the Jays are playing. It's just all highlights. I'm used to watching playoff hockey and playoff basketball this time of the year. It's just so weird. I mean, it's all this COVID thing. Let's just hope it's over and we can get back to everything normal again. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like everything's in sync.
It doesn't. And I think a lot of people are tired of it. If you look at what happened at, the Super Bowl and some fans going to the AFC Championship, the NFC Championship, it was good, but at the same time, it wasn't the same. Even if you go there, you got people split up here and here, 6 feet apart. It just wasn't the same. It's nice to see 50,000 people back at the Rogers Center, 50,000 people back at a football game. Go and watch a Steelers game. When me and John went to Pennsylvania, we had an incredible time down there. We had a lot of food that night. We came back with a really full stomach, and we enjoyed that. I hope we can see that again.
Yeah, let's hope so. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. I don't want to tie up too much time. We can let others talk. John, cat got your tongue there, John? What's going on, John?
I'm just listening. I don't know. You guys are some of you guys.
Mr. Laurinaitis, you okay? Everything okay?
Oh, yeah.
Just listening. We got we got Cillian, the sophisticated one, the suit tie. He's got the beard going on. We got John, the farmer, but you know what? Farmers feed cities. So you know what? God bless you, John, for all you do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. John, he works hard, Sicilian. You know that? He's up at the farm 4 a.m.
Well, you know what they're doing here, and I think it's happening in a lot of places, is that they have the that motto, no farmers, no food. And that is so true.
Absolutely. And that
is so true.
So you know what? We're very absolutely.
We got to protect. We got to protect. We got to protect the farmers. We have to.
The agriculture industry is big. It's big industry. People got to realize that. Yeah.
And I hope that, John, take care. The main thing, John, I want you to take care of your health, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. And Sicilian, the same way with you. Take care of yourself, boys.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's a topic I don't want to bring up right now because I know it's touchy to Joe. So we're going to leave that out. Me and Joe talked about it today. He knows what it's all about. Yeah. About a current football player, his favorite football player. So we're going to leave that out. But, guys, before I sign off, I just want to say thank you for, entertaining me on this Saturday evening. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Anytime,
Roger. Thank you, Roger.
Thanks, Roger.
It's always a pleasure to have you on, but especially these two legends and your host, Joe Booney and Roger Madawi.
before I go, I just gotta say, Sicilian. I remember I heard the story. You got another life. Someone was looking out for you, man. And look at you. You look like $1 million.
Thanks, buddy.
Knock on
Thanks,
wood.
buddy.
You look.
Thanks, buddy. Blessings to you, Roger. Blessings to you, man.
John, you're like a vintage bottle of Jack Daniels. You only get better and better. I tell you, John. And Joe, you're not just a good-looking man in a suit. You are Joe Booney. You're the straw that stirs the drink every Saturday night. You're the foundation. You put this all together. And, hey, have a good night, boys.
Thank you, brother. Take care, Roger.
Yeah, see you, Roger.
Great guy. Just an incredible individual. Another incredible guy. Just loves me, but loves you guys out there, too, and especially Cecilian and John. I want to bring up the Seattle Krakens. Actually, they had this little video, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Let me play it for you guys. It's over, I think it's about a minute and 13 long. So just take a look at this, guys, and I want to hear your reaction after that. Again, StreamYard is one of the best platforms out there. I know, John, you like it a lot. It's very easy for you to get on because I know you're not big in technology, but you do the odd tweet here and there, but you come on here no problem, so. This is pretty interesting commercial.
Let's see.
So I thought that commercial was a little interesting because they had Seattle and they had Seattle, Washington and all that. I really liked the commercial. That's one I wanted to play with you. So now Washington State, that's what it's called?
Yeah.
So there's Washington State and there's Washington, D.C.
Which is on the East Coast.
Which is on the East Coast.
Well, it's east of Washington State.
East of Washington. So you got east of Washington, you got Seattle, you got Washington State, and you got Vancouver. And you said they're only 3 hours apart?
Yep.
That's like from here to Niagara Falls. That's not that far.
No.
It's
not that far at all.
Have you been there yourself to Seattle or no?
I've been there lots of times.
Yeah, lots of time.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. It's got a beautiful skyline, and like any other big city on a coastline, you've got your good, you got your bad, right? You just got to know what areas that you can go to, and what areas you shouldn't go to. Specifically, walking around. It's a beautiful city, Joe. I used to love going to Seattle. I used to love going to the restaurants in Seattle. Staying in a hotel for a couple of nights, just to, get more of the city. Because let's face it, you can't see Seattle in one day, and there's only so much you can do in one day. So, but a 2-day or a long weekend is great in Seattle. The pricing for a good hotel is about $250 to $300 a night, but you get a nice place for $250 to $300. That's US, by the way.
That's pretty good.
And yeah, it's not bad at all. But the scenery is like when I saw that video there, and I see the mountains and I see the ferries, it brings me to home. It's like home. It looks like home. What threw me off about that video, Joe, is that they had some nostalgic look of a hockey player from what looked or appeared to be from the 30s or 40s.
Yes, I saw that. one thing I liked about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So did they once have a hockey team?
They had a hockey team, yes, one Seattle. They did back in 1938, 39.
There you go. Yeah.
Right? Because I was reading that comment down there below. I think this gentleman, let me go back to the video. It was really interesting what this guy said, and I did not know until I read his comment. Let's see. So it says here, it says, from a Rangers fan to a city of Seattle, welcome back to the NHL. May you stay to be a long one. That's what Brian said. So
Interesting.
they must have had a team back then, so
Not to interrupt you and take you away from the West Coast, but you mentioned something about why don't they have a hockey team in Saskatchewan, in Regina? Yes. Personally, I think they just don't have the first of all, the money that it would take to start up an expansion team. I mean, Seattle, look at this guy, $650 million, and that's the US dollars. Tack on another 30% to that, and you're looking at 800 million Canadian, and then you need the fan base, right? You need that fan base.
I think they would at that fan base.
I don't know if they do, Joe, to be quite honest with you. I don't know. Like, I've been to Regina. I'm formerly, a resident of Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. And I remember when the Winnipeg Jets, when the club was taken away. Let me tell you, that was a real bummer for Winnipeggers to no longer have a team. And now that they're back, Winnipeg has changed a lot since they came back from when they first lost the team. So there's different money in Winnipeg. There's a lot of old money, if I can use the term, in Winnipeg. A lot of old money. I don't think there is a lot of old money in Regina, and it's a prairie city, and there's a lot of prairie communities. It's a very different world, say, from Winnipeg, and it's totally off the chart when you compare it to Vancouver. Vancouver's got money behind them. Joe, if you want to buy a shack in Vancouver, you need $1 million. That's a shack, a 2-bedroom shack on a small 30 by 90 lot. So, you need $1 million.
Is that the expensive part of Vancouver, or is that the?
No, I'm talking about the so-so. You want to go to the expensive part of Vancouver, you need $2 to $3 million to buy a nice home. A middle of the way home, 1.3 to 1.7 million. Right? That's your average to do home. And that's in a suburb. Because anywhere in Vancouver, you're looking at, anywhere from 1.7 to 2.3 million for that middle of the road home. So you see there's money here, and there's a population that can support, say, a club like the Vancouver Canucks. But I'll tell you something, if they don't start winning, that fan base is going to get pissed off, and they're not going to start attending when they open things up again. Again, let me tell you, ticket prices are not cheap in Vancouver. For a family,
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Well, a family of 4 to go out, you need $500. That's crazy. People just don't have that kind of money to throw out anymore.
But you said Vancouver has money, right?
Yes.
Vancouver has money, but why don't they put more money into the team to get a better team around them, a better GM? Why don't they do that? That's the question. Canucks fans been waiting a very long time for a Stanley Cup. The last time they attended the Stanley Cup, they lost, and there was a big riot outside, people breaking cars, smashing, burning buildings down, doing crazy stuff, burning cars down. Why can't they put more money into the team so the team is like a Vegas Golden Knight? You get a team from Vegas, got all these amazing players. First year they went to the Stanley Cup. They almost beat the Washington Capitals, but Alexander Ovechkin and the Capitals were just too two-bit good on that year?
I think that would probably be a question to ask Francesco Aquilini, the owner.
Yeah, bring him on and ask him that. Come on.
And at the end of the day, I'm happy with him taking over the team and trying something different, because I don't think he's ever owned a franchise team ever. Like I said, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, he owned a lot of buildings, and he was in the property holdings business in Vancouver. He held hundreds of millions of dollars in property. Now, and he owned these properties when your average home in Vancouver was selling, say, for $250,000. Well, assuming that he kept that business going, and then the market did what it did over the last 10, 15 years, that $250,000 house that he had on his portfolio is worth over $2 million, in some cases $3-4 million. There's property in Point Grey, just vacant land, is $4 to $5 million, and that's like a 40 by 120 lot. $4 million, that's in Point Grey. Why? Because it's close to the ocean, and some of it is ocean front. So I'm sure he had investments in those areas. I'm sure he was funding and mortgaging and doing all of the wonderful things a good businessman knows how to do in the property brokering business. And like I said, he had a company that was doing nothing but that, and then all of a sudden he's in the public eye with buying the Vancouver Canuck franchise. And he did with the money that he had, he did bring other players, new players, new blood to the team. So, again, going back to Regina, I don't know of anybody in that province that has that kind of money. I just don't know, Joe, that there is anybody in the province that can afford to purchase or invent a franchise team.
We need a team. We need like a city like Toronto that is the city's just full of millions and millions of dollars. We don't get that a lot of Toronto like that. Like we have Toronto, we have London's. It's getting up there. You got Ottawa, you got Montreal, Quebec. Roger was saying Quebec, but there's already a team, the Canadians. Why would you put another team there? Well, you got two teams in New York. You got the Islanders and you got the Rangers. Put another team there. Then it goes back and forth, and you kind of have to do a negotiation, right? It just goes back and forth. You know to play. It's like puzzle, right?
I'm not sure what caused the Quebec Nordiques to fold and move. I don't get it, because there was your second team, Joe, for the province of Quebec, and we have Montreal. Montreal is a very successful.
They got a great.
Crazy. They're crazy. These fans, they love their Montreal Canadiens. I don't know what happened to the Quebec Nordiques. I really don't. I don't know why they're not in that picture anymore. But I think, and do agree with you, that Toronto could afford and find, or if somebody's interested, they could bring another team to Toronto. They could bring another team to Quebec. They could. I think they have the fan base and they have the money to back it up. Does Manitoba? Well, you know what? There's a lot of, I'll say it again, there's a lot of old money in Winnipeg. And we're talking people that have a lot of money. And, what do these people do? Well, they're professionals. They're either doctors or they hold investment firms like Francesco Aquilini did, and they own hundreds of properties making money. And, I remember a day in Winnipeg where you could buy a house for $30,000 25 years ago. Well, that same house.
That's peanuts.
Well, that is peanuts, but that same house today in the probably not so good area of Winnipeg is $260,000 to $300,000. It's ridiculous what that house is worth. But we have to follow, the provinces have to follow what's going on. And before you know it, Vancouver or the province of British Columbia gets too expensive to live in, they start moving to Alberta. Well, Alberta isn't that cheap either. They start moving to Winnipeg or Saskatchewan. Why? Because it's cheaper. I hate the weather. It's too damn
Ontario,
cold.
let me tell you something. Ontario, the real estates, they're doing very well for themselves. The houses are just going up. My grandfather's house, many years ago, was worth maybe $253. He could sell it for $8, $9. It's just a small, tiny house, just a small, tiny house. You know, he can sell it for $7, $8, maybe even $9. You don't know, because everybody from Toronto are moving here, and everything's going up. So real estate,
absolutely.
Okay, I can make money off this guy. If he moves down here, I'll sell this for $6. It was $3. I can sell it for double or triple the amount. Right. So they're smart. The real estate people are smart. It's a good business.
Yeah, and don't forget, Joe, you have a lot of diversity there with cultures. So you have people of very different backgrounds that have money behind them. Here, the influence is the Asian influence. You know, the Asians have a lot of money. They've brought a lot of money from Hong Kong. And I hate to say it, but they've inflated our market to the point where people like you and I, if we've built a bit of a legacy, well, how are our children going to afford to even get into the market? They can't anymore. That's where we're at.
It's all about marketing. And I like this. This is a good point. This is really good for Rita. Rita's actually
she's right. Yes, she is right.
Colorado, yeah.
Yeah, they went to Colorado, exactly.
Became the Avalanche.
Yes.
Remember the Atlanta Thrashers?
Yes. What happened to them?
When Winnipeg came back, they got rid of them.
That's weird.
Because some of their players went to Winnipeg. And they had an okay fan base. And what makes me think and wonder, the Florida Panthers, when there was no COVID, there wasn't much fans in that arena. Much fans. People don't watch it, but people go watch the Lightning because the Lightning, they have good competition. They know they got a good team around them, and the Panthers have a good team, but that stadium is never full. And if it's full, only when the Toronto Maple Leafs are there or the Montreal Canadiens or somebody is good.
Yeah.
And who is it? It's the opposite team. It's the away team that fans are there to watch the Bruins and the Leafs. And now you talk about the Nordiques. They had a good fan base, but that got rid of them. But they have the Panthers. Maybe a quarter of that building is sold out. It's interesting how the National Hockey League works sometimes.
For sure. And now with the Seattle Kraken franchise, what's going to happen is all these other teams are going to have to start protecting their players because they're going to be looking. They're going to be negotiating, and some that become free agents, like there's defensemen, there's forwards, there's a lot of talent. And out there in the NHL. And so teams are going to have to start looking at their player list and seeing who's coming up as a free agent. When's this contract coming up for renegotiation? Because that's exactly what the business people behind the scenes for the Seattle Kraken NHL franchise are going to be looking at for the obvious reasons.
They have a smart coach. They got a general manager, Ron Francis. Remember Ron Francis? He's the general manager for Seattle.
Yeah, he's no stoop.
No, he isn't. Great guy, and it's going to be interesting for the next 5 to 6 months. See where Seattle goes and where they end up, because I'm really interested with that team. I was interested with Vegas when they came around, but Seattle, out of everybody, Seattle.
Yeah, I
thought they would have a team.
I never thought we'd see an expansion of a 32nd team coming out of Seattle, even though it's not a bad idea because there's money there, right? And you got a businessman who's probably domiciled in Seattle, Washington, and he's putting his money where his mouth is. And here we are talking about the Seattle Kraken and Ron Francis.
Yeah. What a name, too, Kraken. I know, John, you said something before we went on air. What did you say about the Kraken? Something about a bottle? You made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bottle of rum, the liquor store. It's a brand. And it's Kraken. It's like a giant octopus. So that must be, they're thinking of the sea, I guess.
Motto, yeah. I
think it's a giant octopus or a giant squid, one or the other. in the old days it showed them giant squid taking the boats over and whatever. It's all mythology, but that's where they got the name, I guess. I thought it was quite funny too, though. I just because I've seen it on the rum bottle. That's why. It's a brand of rum too.
That's real interesting. They used a rum bottle for their team last name. I don't know. I guess it's better. It's a better name than the Washington football team.
Yeah.
It's a football team.
No originality there at all.
No. Sicilian, we are 5 weeks away from the playoffs. The Toronto Maple Leafs are having a fantastic year. They are dominating the Canadian division. Actually, it's getting pretty hot. The Leafs have 71 points with 33 wins, 13 losses. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Is it finally the year for the Maple Leafs to go to the Stanley Cup and win it? Or is it just too early to call it?
I don't know, Joey. We did touch on that topic. And I think I just said it boldly then, and I'll say it boldly now. I think the Leafs are going to go all the way. I really do. They're fired up. They got some fantastic young players. Like, who was that? Matthews?
38 goals. He's killing the league. And what?
Come on. Get out of town, man. Like, that kid, I'm surprised that they weren't trying to rig it up, even especially when there was that empty net there, and Vancouver pulled their goalie with about 4 minutes left. Come on, let's get Matthews the hat trick. Let's get Matthews the hat trick, right? But you know what? It's not just about the goals. It's about winning as a team, and they came out flying. Both teams did, but then as soon as that first goal came in, it kind of took the sail or the wind out of the Vancouver Canucks sails. But when they tied it up, I still didn't see that luster in the Canucks. I think they were outplayed. Toronto just outplayed them. They just outplayed them, outskated them, outsmarted them. They did exactly what they had to do to throw them off their game, and that's exactly what happened. And you know what? I hate to say it, the Vancouver Canuck team caves a lot like that. They do cave. I don't know what it is about them, and why they do that. But you know what? They've got to start changing their habit. I think they really need a shakeup on the team. They need a shakeup on the hey there, Melanie. Melanie's always on this show and I'm on the show. I have no idea who the heck she is, but you know what? Hi, Melanie. But
I think she might be one of your fans.
I don't know. I don't know who she is. But I can tell you one thing, Joe. I've always said this, and it might not sound nice, but the Sedins.
My favorite.
They're your favorite? I think they're overrated.
Okay, let me ask, why do you think they're overrated?
Because they put a lot of emphasis on these two guys. They've kept them for a long time. They were never going to trade them. I don't get this is a business. I'm not going to keep you on my team because I like you. I'm going to keep you on my team because you're a producer and you have to produce. And while the Sedins play well together, I've seen them play bad together. I've seen them not play very well for game upon game upon game. So, like, you know what? We got to start. The Vancouver Canuck Hockey Club has to start looking at new blood. They really do, because the current blood that they have isn't working. And is it a management thing? Is it a coach thing?
I really believe so. I said that on your show a few weeks ago. I said I believe it's the management upstairs. I believe a lot of players do not want to play for the GM upstairs. You look at Travis Green, great head coach, had COVID, really bad symptoms. It was really bad. At times I thought the guy wasn't going to make it. That's how bad it got. I'm not trying to be negative, but it got really bad. He came around and he's doing well now. But Travis Green is a great coach, phenomenal coach. But I believe it's the management upstairs. A lot of players, rumors, don't want to play for the GM, the Vancouver Canucks players. That's what I believe. I've heard some rumors.
So when you say the GM specifically, who would that person be? Is it Francesco Aquilini? Is it Trevor Linden? Is it there's another person that comes to name? And I'm not trying to put names in your mouth to protect your show.
The people who tell the coach what to do, and the coach tells what the players to do. Because the final call is for the coach, but it's the GM telling you do this or you're gone, yes or no.
I'm just wondering, who's the GM for the Canucks?
Well, this is really funny. So I put the Vancouver Canucks GM, and all what came up was it wasn't GM. I put actually owner name. The owner name was Canucks Sports Entertainment. But if you put Vancouver Canucks owner,
the general manager is Jim Benning.
Jim Benning, right?
Jim Benning.
He was a former player.
Yeah.
I haven't heard him in a long time.
I
had heard some stuff over the years. People that I know don't like him personally. I don't know why? Just people don't like him. People don't like people in general. I guess they don't like him as the GM. I don't know. A lot of people didn't like Brendan Shanahan. A lot of people don't like Kyle Dubas. A lot of people don't like these GMs, right? At the end of the day, it is the coach, but it's the GM up there telling you yes or no, making that call. That coach is telling you that call, but it's the GM who is under pressuring you to say that call or not. Do I make sense on that?
Yeah, it does. It does, Joe. And I think there are some maybe personality issues with upper management, where the players might not want to really play for that person per se. Not they don't want to play with the team, but let's face it. Psychologically, it changes the dynamic of the game, especially when you lose.
Yeah.
Right? Like the way they lost tonight, I'm telling you, you know what? There's an old saying: "Shit rolls downhill," and it certainly does. And these are important games. I don't know how much. What is it? 5? How many more weeks left, Joe?
You got 5 days. You got the Maple. Yeah, I'll bring the schedule for the Leafs. I just want to make sure. So you got the Leafs are playing Monday, May 3rd, 7 p.m. against the Canadiens. We still don't know if the Canadiens are going to make the playoffs. They've been on a kind of they've been on a struggle. They won earlier today against the Ottawa Senators
in overtime.
Beautiful goal. The Calgary Flames are fighting for that last playoff spot too with the Montreal and Calgary. I think Montreal will get it, but for matter of fact, the Maple Leafs play the Canadiens the next 3 games. Monday, May 3rd in Montreal. Canadiens Maple Leafs at the Scotiabank Arena. Saturday, May 8th. Thursday, May 6th, Canadiens and Maple Leafs. And you got the Senators on May 12th, that Wednesday, 8 p.m. And the final game is Friday, May 14th, 8 p.m. Whoever would have thought the Winnipeg Jets and Leafs are rivals? That's what producer Clark said last week.
I tell you about a week and a half ago, it's going to be Toronto and Winnipeg.
Yeah, that'll be, I think, for the second one.
Yeah.
Because you look at the top, you look at the 4 teams. So it goes here. I'll share the screen once again. I'll bring the standings up. So how this works. So you look at, where's the Canadian division? Here, you got the noise. So you got Toronto with 71 points. You got Edmonton with 60. Winnipeg with 57. Winnipeg's on a struggle. 6-game losing streak. They're not playing. And then you got Montreal on a 2-game winning streak. So it's going to be these top 4 teams that makes the playoffs. So Toronto, if the playoffs ended today, it'd be Toronto, Montreal, it'd be Edmonton, and Winnipeg. But don't count out the Flames yet. There's still a few games in hand. Like I said, the Leafs play the next 3 games against the Canadiens on the 3rd, 8th, and 6th. And the Flames are not out yet, but I think it will be Montreal that will play Toronto. And you can't get a better playoff game between Toronto and Montreal. We haven't seen that in a long time. In a long time. So,
a Toronto-Montreal playoffs? Are you kidding me? I remember that 55 years ago. I'm giving away my age now. I remember 55 years ago, and it was the Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal. But I think it was Montreal that won.
See, look at Vancouver, the last team with 41 points on a 4-game losing streak.
4-game losing streak, yeah.
And you know what? I'm not a Vancouver fan, but I like the team. I like the team they have. They got really good players. It's just there's something not there. I don't know if they need more chemistry, a piece of puzzle that needs to put in the puzzle. I don't know what it is.
Spark isn't there, Joe. The spark isn't there.
It's more than the spark. I don't know what it is, man. It's like it's a few sparks, you know. It's a few sparks that are missing, and they need to reboot that spark and go and find out what the problem is.
Yeah.
Because they got Bo Horvath, they got a very good team. But what is it? I don't know. They got good goaltending. They got Braden Hope, who won the Stanley Cup a few years ago with the Washington Capitals. They got Demko last year, had a phenomenal playoff run. Demko is letting easy goals now go through his legs. So how come one year you're good and next year you're letting goals in like a 2-year-old is letting in, or like a Tim Horton hockey group's going in?
I think it's a focus thing, Joe. And you're right.
COVID's been really hard on them, you know.
Yeah. But, you know, we can't use COVID as an excuse. I mean, these are professional players.
COVID. Right? I'm not trying to give them excuses, but they had a lot of symptoms. You know, 25 players out with COVID.
Right.
So does that affect the players? I think it does a lot to do with it, right? But they want to play and they want to see their fans back at the Rogers Arena, and hopefully one day the Canucks can be up here. Right. It's just we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the next few games. You got Pittsburgh, who was supposed to be a rebuild team, clinched a playoffs berth a few days ago. So who knows with the Penguins? The Penguins have been always a good team, you know, since day one with Marty Lemieux. You had Yager. You had so many good players, and you got Boston.
Boston's on a roll.
They are on a roll. They're on a 3-game winning streak with 66 points. But I don't know how that's going to go because, you know, their captain Chara left. They wrote him off. He went to Washington. So I don't know. Never say never. It's going to be an interesting finish to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
But that's and this is crazy. Look at the Hurricanes. They're the first team in the National Hockey League. 75 points. You know?
Incredible.
Like, it's just teams that we'd never think a hockey team would go there are there, and they're up there. And look at Florida I was talking about, 73 points. Vegas, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay should be up here, or Pittsburgh should be up here. But who is it? It's Carolina who's up, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. You know, I'm excited for the playoffs. I know there's no fans and all that. And I know I was saying, you know, when the season started, I wasn't happy with the Canadian division. But I'm starting to like the Canadian division because this is once in a lifetime.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you like the Canadian division yourself?
Absolutely, Joe. And you know, I just got really tired of watching playoff hockey, and that's where I really watch it. Mm-hmm. It's no different with soccer. I watch soccer when it's the World Cup and that kind of stuff, but I won't watch it regularly. Once in a while. But same with hockey. I don't get turned on by it unless, you know, Toronto's playing. I'll watch a game if I like the other team, you know, a strong team. I want to see Toronto beat them. But I'm just tired of over the years, and it's been so many years where we get 1 or 2 teams left in the playoffs, and then they're gone they're just gone. And then all we're watching is American hockey, right? I like this. I really, really like this change, and I'm just waiting to see what the outcome is going to be.
Would you like to see another year go like this, the Canadian division, or how do you think it would play off? That's the better question to ask. You think it would be at the same level, or do you think it would screw up a lot of different teams in the league? Because it's 32 teams now.
Yeah, I don't know if it would screw up the
Travel, right? You travel from Vancouver.
yeah. I think we have to take into consideration and face the facts here that this pandemic is still here. This pandemic is going to be here for at least another year. I don't care how many shots people get. There is a waiting period. And for us to open up that sport, which will open up all other sports and so on, I think is heading in the wrong direction. It's still too early. So I'd like to see another year of hockey being played the way it's being played now, to give our players a chance to understand and get to know our Canadian teams more, and hopefully over the next couple of years we can go back to the regular style of NHL, playoff hockey. But I think we're looking at 2 years down the road. That's just my opinion.
No, I know. Mr. Laurinaitis, I know you guys are open in Texas. You guys are wide open. You can wear a mask or not. People are burning masks down there. I was wanting to ask you this last week on the show, and I just remembered now. I forgot last week. It's amazing. Sometimes you want to say something, but you just forget about it. Now I can say it. It's just something on here. Do you like the fact that the Rangers can have a full capacity of fans in the Rangers Stadium? Do you like that idea? Do you like seeing fans back gathering together? Or what do you have to say on that? With the Rangers, when they had that opening night, people were gathering. It was like there was no such thing as COVID. Do you like that idea or what? Yourself.
Personally?
Yes,
Yeah.
personally yourself.
I don't know. It's they, what I say, they open up pretty quick. I don't know if it's too soon, and it could just, they were, when they first started with the fans, they were distancing the fans, but now they're, like you said, they fill it right up. So there's no distancing at all. So, I mean, it takes one or two people to have it. They can spread it in that situation. So I don't, it's not, I think they threw caution to the wind probably too early on stuff like that, but I guess they were allowed to do it. So it was their choice to do it. And if the fans don't mind, then they're taking some risk there probably, but what can you do? It's what's happening. So I don't know. Like I'm just saying, it's a crowd of people. Like you say, it only takes a few people that would have to spread it around when you're all packed in like normal. So.
I know down there, your governors in the state, like in the states, like Florida and Texas and everywhere.
Well, each state kind of works on their own. Yeah, the governors have a lot of power.
And sometimes I do like that idea, and sometimes I don't like that idea. I actually, to be honest with you, I like the governor of Florida. It's an option, If you want to wear a mask, you want to wear a mask. If you don't want a mask, you don't. Mandatory. A lot of people get angry. A lot of people get pissed off. You're going to get angry customers. You see those videos on TikTok and YouTube. You got to put a mask on. I just wish everybody just could follow the rules from day one, and this thing wouldn't be here today. But you're always going to get opposite people. You're always going to have those people that 5%, that 10% of people not listening, making problems. And that's what life's about. You get good people and bad people. It's like a movie, a bad guy and a good guy. At the end of the day, the good guy wins. But I hope we can get the good guy that can win. And I hope we can just go back to normal, that we don't have to wear masks. We don't have to do anything like that. That's just what my opinion is and what I believe in. Right? I could be wrong. I could be right. It's just my opinion.
It does make it. The fans do make the game, though. You got to realize that. Like the players, it makes it better on the players too, because then they feel that excitement. They get the energy from the fans, and there hasn't been that. But I mean, that's still not an excuse to maybe pack the whole stadiums and at this time. But with this thing still going around, but that's. I guess they had to go ahead to do it, and they did it. And if the fans just aren't worried, then they pack them in and they do it, I guess.
And now there was certain fans that were wearing masks, and a lot of people were. It was like,
well, I mean, it's your option.
80% people, 20%. It was back and forth. So I don't know how this is going to play off myself. I'll go back to what I was saying. if we shut everything down for a few months, we wouldn't have this problem, but we kept opening and shutting it, opening and shutting it. And this is the problem here in Ontario. Our premier, Doug Ford, kept opening and shutting it. If we shut it down for 3-4 months, or even 2-3 months, it would be fun. But we opened it and closed it, and that does not solve the problem when you just keep opening and shutting the country down. I don't know, Cecilian, if I make sense or not. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Maybe have a comment on that.
No, I think Ford's done a very reasonable job so far. Now people are throwing him under the bus because they're shutting things down again, and companies are going out of business. You know what? I wouldn't want to be in anybody's shoes in that situation. But you're right, Joe. I think they started opening things up too soon in Toronto. And your population is huge compared to, say, Vancouver's population. It's huge. It's incredible.
What's the population down there, if you don't mind?
Right in the core. If I had to guess, I don't even want to guess. Let me put it down here. Hang on.
Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna grab a glass.
I'm curious now, Joe, because I think it's like 5 million or something.
I gotta say one thing, Cecilian. I love those lights in the background. I think I asked you once before. Where'd you get those lights from? Amazon or get them from the store? I really like those.
No. I got them. I got them at Walmart of all places, but they only had one that was called Kaleidoscope. And I remember they were selling for $40. Then they were on sale for $20, and then they were blowing them out because they had, still some more stock left in January, because these were used at Christmas time. So I bought them like at the beginning of February for like $12. And heavy duty, listen, heavy duty. Like we're talking commercial grade cords, like heavy duty lights.
Walmart, out of all places.
I've had them for 3 years, and I used them. I used to use them every night, and then I went to 3 days a week. And they run for anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours a night when I'm using them. So I've gotten a lot of usage from them, and look, they look great.
They look good. They always look good in the broadcast. And I said, you told me today. I said, yeah, bring them on. I love it. It
does. Anyways, the population, like I said, I was guessing it was around 5 million. In 2017, it was 4.9 million. So it's got to be around 5 to 6 million at least.
It's a lot of people.
Toronto, like we're talking the core, was 2.93 million. But 4.9 million was for all of British Columbia in 2017. So those numbers are a lot higher today, Joe.
Yeah.
Because of immigration and just growth, right?
City growth, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your property values don't go up that high because people don't live there. It's because they're living there and they're buying and they're building. Like you look at Vancouver's skyline here, and there's cranes all over the place, and you can't even see the sky because it's building after building. And like we're talking, you see Rogers Arena, and behind it, it's just absolutely gorgeous with building after building after building, and you can see cranes all over the place. It's just incredible what's going on here.
I gotta come up there and visit one day. I really do. I'm missing some opportunities up there. Seriously, I had a buddy actually. You used to go up to Vancouver. Good friend of mine named Stanley used to always. Actually, I think he lived there too at one point too. And he said it's beautiful. He says when you go there, Joe, you don't want to come back.
That's true. It is a beautiful city, but you got to be making some good money to live here.
Yeah, especially downtown, right? Downtown's expensive.
Well, you know what? there's a lot of poverty downtown too, Joe. It's like, Seattle. There's certain parts of Seattle. It's mind-boggling, and same here.
Mhm.
Thank you there, Rita. There's a lot of poverty in Vancouver on the east side. People living on the sidewalks. It's just absolutely deplorable, and it's sad. It's sad that we have such a beautiful, rich city with thousands of people that are dying on the streets from drug addiction, alcoholism, and just being homeless because they can't afford to rent.
Mhm.
There's a lot of empty buildings. That's another thing that's mind-boggling about Vancouver. In the core, lots of empty buildings because there's a lot of people that have a lot of money and they don't mind sitting on empty buildings, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Why not, get some funding from the government and grants to build homes for the homeless?
Yeah, really. You look at a lot of people like Toronto area, Vancouver area, tons of people. Even when you go down, like even in Detroit, man, there's an area full of homeless people there, and I see these YouTubers, just amazing people that make these videos that go on YouTube and they buy food, like 1,000 burgers, they give them out to them, and my heart's so warm after when I see those videos.
Yeah, for sure.
They should make small homes for homeless people because there's a lot of homeless people out there, more than enough. There's more than enough homeless people out there. So it's sad,
Yeah.
and I hope one day we could have somebody that opens their mind up a little bit more and say, hey, let's start making these homes for these homeless people.
Yeah. Like you can't have a rich country like Canada.
We're very, very rich.
Yeah, and with our resources, you can't have people that are homeless and hungry, and let's not forget that when people become homeless people do desperate things, and desperate things lead to crime.
Yeah.
And that it's not because they're criminals, it's because they have no other means of surviving. And so that survival mechanism, kicks in our brains. And you got to do what you got to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody along the way, but you got to do what you got to do, right? I saw somebody the other day stealing an apple, or was it an orange? It doesn't matter. Stealing a fruit from a thing, and the Chinese guy chased them, caught him, and took the fruit away from him. Like, you know what? I get it. You can't be giving everybody an apple or an orange or a banana, because then your produce is going to disappear because people are hungry.
Yeah.
But if you see somebody doing something like that, it just tells you that there was a mechanism. I mean, they just stole something because they were hungry. They couldn't afford to pay for it, amongst other things. So shit happens, and I see a lot of shit happening in Vancouver because I'm out there in the elements, and I see a lot of things happening. And, I see a lot of Lamborghinis, and I see a lot of beautiful $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 cars. Some of them are $1 million. When you start seeing the Rolls Royce Bentleys with, somebody in the back, and they got a chauffeur. Like, we're talking a $700,000-$800,000 vehicle. Like, so there's something wrong with that picture, Joe. There's really something wrong with that picture. They can afford $30,000 to $40,000 in property taxes a month, and there's got to be people that are starving on the streets. I don't agree with that.
This is really good. Talking about that, look at this. Too many greedy people that don't want to spend to help good people.
Yeah, it is. And Rita's absolutely right.
Horrible.
I
think there's a lot of greedy people out there. There's plenty of greedy people out there, a lot. And unfortunately, I wish there was more generous, unique people out there would help the people who need help or in need.
Yeah.
You know, and going back to about over $1 million for a vehicle, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's for a vehicle, right?
You know, Joe, there was a time, Joe, on a Sunday, what I would do with my daughter is we would drive to the East End and I would go grocery shopping. And my budget would say, okay, let's give 5 homeless people a hamper. And in that hamper, there was a loaf of bread, a dozen eggs, fruit, dried goods that would last 2 to 3, 4 days a week. But I'd put together a hamper and I'd spread it out evenly amongst 4 or 5 bags. And then what I would do is I would drive around the east side of Vancouver where all the homeless and addicted people were, and I'd look for people. And when I saw somebody that would catch my eye, I'd drive by them and I'd say, "Hey, are you hungry?" And it's incredible how these people would all react the same. They go, "Yes." And they'd come to approach your car as quickly as possible to see what you had. And you give them this bag with food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the look on some of these people, or one person said to me, why did you pick me? And I said, because God saw you through my eyes. And so I would give that person that hamper. And so I took my daughter with me one time and I says, we're going to do this. Now, bear in mind, we're in a dangerous area of Vancouver. You really got to be careful who you pick. So I'd say to my daughter, and of course I'd oversee it, you pick somebody, honey, that you want to give this food to. And she saw a lady that was in a wheelchair on the side of the street next to all these addicts. And she said, Dad, can I give that lady this food? I says, yeah, I'll watch you from here. Just walk up to her very slowly and say, this is for you. And of course, you know, there's dialogue going on between my daughter. At the time, she was like 16. So she knew what she was doing. And she also knew not to go too close to people. Just give them the food and get back into the car. Well, unfortunately, this pandemic doesn't allow me for me to be able to do that. But I did it for months. So can you imagine one person times 1,000 people doing that on a weekend? Just 1,000 people. Do you know how many people wouldn't go hungry that day or the next day? I mean, it's only enough for a couple of days. You know, it's not going to last them a week. And they probably got a little, you know, hot plate in a rooming house with 3 other people that they pay $300 a month on, that is rat infested and you name it. They have to share the bathrooms on each floor. That's where they go to eat this food. But at least they got some food. But if you times that, like Rita said, too many greedy people. I can't afford to do that every day, but I could afford to do that and spend $30 or $40 every Sunday for these poor people. And each time that I go out, I find different people. Well, if there was 1,000 of me doing that, finding 4 or 5 people, that's 4,000 or 5,000 people that are getting something on a Sunday that takes them off the street and puts some grub in their stomach, right?
The population would be very low.
Yeah, there wouldn't be as many.
You know,
There wouldn't be as many.
there's way too many.
Yeah, but as Rita mentioned, there's too many greedy people that they can't part with $5. Lots of times when I have a friend in the car and they say, hey, give the guy $5. Yeah, we'll give him $5. But they got to meet a certain criteria, right? You can't be giving a guy that's out there, you know, 5 minutes earlier he's selling pills to another drug addict. He's a dealer. You don't give that guy the $5.
No.
You know, you got to be selective with who you choose. But at the end of the day, that selectiveness would find you 5,000 people very easily. You'd find 5,000 people very easy.
Absolutely.
That would meet that criteria, right?
For sure. And here in the city of London, there's so many homeless people around. Like you go downtown, there's this guy, every time I go downtown, he has this old food basic cart. He has his clothes in there, he has an umbrella, and he walks down the street. And his teeth are mostly all gone.
Yeah.
And I feel for the guy. It's just it touches me. Like the other day, I'm walking down. When was I walking to Tim Hortons? The guy's laying on the ground, like beside on the sidewalk, and I just close my eyes, and all I say is Alhamdulillah. Thanks God for putting me in the position I am today. You know, I'm 21. I'm grateful. I live with my family. I have a show. I got people that support me. I do well for myself. Just it's sad. It hurts when you see people like that.
For sure.
You
For
know?
sure, Joe. For sure.
Like, I watch these YouTube videos sometimes, and I see these guys paying for the people, you know, for their groceries, their medication. I love seeing those kinds of videos, but there's not enough people out there.
Yeah, I'm always on the run. I'm always on the go, and sometimes I forget to eat. I'm diabetic, and I start feeling a little weird. I know I got to get some food in me, so what I would do is I'll go to a fast food place. And the other day, I was at a fast food place, and I saw an older lady counting her change, and she was looking at the menus, and she was saying, "I can't see that. Can you tell me, young lad, how much that is?" And as soon as she ordered, I think her meal came out to $3 and something. Well, she was having difficulty finding the coins. And I said, "Is there anything else that you might want, ma'am?" And she goes, "No, that's all I want." I says, I've got it. I'll take care of it for you. She goes, "Oh, you will?" I says, "Yeah, I will. I'll take care of it." That's why I asked, "Is there anything else on the menu that you'd like?"
Yeah.
You know, can I get you a fruit cup? You didn't order any fruit with that. Maybe you'd like some fruit. I'd love some fruit. And so, of course, she got the fruit cup with her meal. And what did it cost me? An extra $2. Big deal. So, you know, at the end of the day, those are things that don't happen that often, Joe, that we need happening in all aspects of the word. But, hey, that's me. I figure God's going to look at me and say, let's send some good karma to Cecilia, because I need some good karma.
For
Anyways,
sure.
I know you got a sports show and you got timelines.
We talk sports, but we talk positive, good thing, good vibe.
Yeah, I don't want to take you away from the script, but I'm just saying, these things happen, right?
We don't get Sicilian every day, so when we have Sicilian, bring up anything you want, Sicilian. But no, absolutely. If there was more people like that in the world, we would be in a lot better place.
Yeah.
Like, look at Mr. Laurinaitis. I know you're getting tired over there, but you're listening, and thanks for listening with us.
Yeah.
You told me about maybe 2 months ago, the biggest tragic in Texas. You were giving water bottles out. Can you bring that story up again if you don't mind?
That cold spell we had that was unbelievable. Came down from Canada, of course, from the Arctic, and it devastated Texas. We had snow like we never had before, and temperatures below freezing. And so we're not set up for that down here generally. That's not what happens. And so anyway, we had problems with, water pipes breaking, freezing, and the water system and everything like that. And a lot of people didn't have fresh water. It was flooding after everything melted and all this mess. And it took a while. Certain areas were worse than others, yeah. And me and Ron, we decided we'd go out and see what was going on. And we just something simple. We delivered, bottled water, case of bottled water. And we got in on that. There was a bunch of people that were doing it. And, just something as simple as that. I mean, you need fresh water to drink. You have to have water. And people were really thankful just to get that, because they were frustrated because it was like a national weather disaster. They never had dealt with this before, and it screwed up everything. So, this is just another example along the same lines as you, the Sicilian, with the, when you're delivering those groceries to those people. Same idea.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a different situation. This was just people were under pressure because, they didn't have the infrastructure broke down. And
yeah.
that was something we got to look at, but that doesn't happen very often, in Central Texas, to get a disaster like that in the wintertime like that. But, we get other storms and stuff. But that was something we hadn't dealt with in a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
You think back to where was it there? Louisiana, when they had the big in New Orleans, they had their disaster. It was the same idea there. They, everything was just, there was disease. The water was everywhere, rotten, stagnant water and everything. And, it took a long time for them to get going there. There was a lot of criticism at the time, I remember, and all that on the local people, the governments and all that. But I mean, it happens. Things like this do happen, and if a few people step up and make a big difference, that's all. So, and it does, and they appreciated it. I'll tell you that much.
It's all about appreciation. The little things are the biggest things out there.
Well, just fresh water to drink, and hey, until they got back up and running, it took a while. It was just certain areas were worse than others because some areas are underserved with infrastructures aren't as good. So those places were the worst. But anyway, yeah, it's every little bit helps. I think so.
Absolutely.
The little things.
Joe, you probably heard some chiming in the background. Have you heard those chimes? I call that my bat phone. Those are calls from people that I leave cards at their places that are actually calling me back. I call those live hits. And I've just got one that I have to deal with.
For sure.
Yeah, it's my phone that does that.
Yeah, your phone.
There's-
I could hear that here.
Yeah, there's special ring. It's a special ringtone.
Yeah.
To get my attention. It's
All right.
happened already 2 or 3 times on the show, but this one was a different one, and it's like I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, and I looked at my file and I go, ooh, I gotta jump on this gun. This one I can't let go. So I'm just letting you know that I really appreciate both yourself and, of course, John having the patience to listen to my long-winded stories sometimes.
Wow, they're interesting.
But I found the broadcast to be quite an enjoyable broadcast, Joe. I want to thank you for having me and John. But I've got to sign off, and let's look at teeing up something, in the near future. Let's not wait a year.
No, let's not wait a year and a half. Like you're saying, like I said, anybody's welcome, and it was truly an honor for you to come on the show. Like, again, I love thanking people for coming on the show, but a double thank you for you. I feel blessed when you're on. I love listening to you. I love listening to when I go to your broadcast. I learn a lot from you. And not only I look up to you as a friend, but as like an uncle, like a family member. That's how much respect I have for you. I don't know you, but you're on here. And that's
Appreciate that, Joe.
anytime.
I appreciate that. So I don't know what to do to get out of here. And hey, by the way, special thanks for having my mom up in my screen.
For sure, anytime.
As a matter of fact, if I ever come on your show, my mom's got to be on the screen.
Yes.
If I can just have that request.
Yes, for sure. That's anytime. Your mother's
she's special to me, so always will be till my last breath.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you having my mom's picture up there.
Sure. Thank
John,
you.
it was a slice seeing you again. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yeah,
And Joe, again, thank you and many blessings to you.
No problem. Take care,
Thank
Cecily.
you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
See ya.
All right.
Sicilian, folks, in the great province of Vancouver, British Columbia. John, we're running out of time.
What are we talking about now?
We got a few minutes left.
Yeah, well, I got a list here.
Yeah, I was waiting for that, but there's so many good topics to talk about when Sicilian was here.
I know. That's okay. You don't always have to, like you say, you don't always have to stick to. We did talk a lot about the hockey, which was good.
Well, I wanted to get
I
that.
just thought they got this NFL draft going on last few days, and
Yes.
I don't know much about it. I just know that they're picking the best of the college ball players to bring them into the NFL and all the different teams, right? So I just happened to hit on the Steelers here, and I mean I don't really know any of these guys, but let's see, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 guys anyway that they picked.
Can you please name them, because I only saw.
I'll go through them, and if any of them, if you've heard any of these guys at all, I'll just start at the top here. Some of the names are not too bad. Okay, running back from Alabama, Nagy Harris. So we did need a new running back because Connors is gone, and I think Snell might be gone too. So pretty sure they're both gone.
Could you give me 1 minute?
Yeah.
I got to go upstairs. Josiah doesn't want to come down here. He's being a little bit lazy, so I'm going to get him on StreamYards upstairs. So give me 1 minute. Can you entertain the viewers? I'll be back in like less than a minute.
All right, I need to get a drink of water.
Okay.
Lazy.
I'm back, folks. There we go. Guys, like I was saying, we haven't had Cecilia on the show for a very long time, but we haven't had a man on the show, let's say, for over a year, 2 years, not over a year and a half, over 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who went to Saudi Arabia, the king, the real king, Mr. Joe Saya is in the building. How are you, Joe?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic.
Good. Yeah, I was watching. Finally, I got to be on your show. Hasn't been on the show for a long time, so it's my pleasure to be on your show, Joe.
I appreciate it. You know, it takes about 7 steps to come down here and sit beside Joe Boone, and what you do, you wear my sweater and you sit on that couch and talk to me up there.
My comfy couch.
You're comfy. There's a lot of comfy couches down here. You got the green over here. You got the one made from Chile over there.
You know,
there.
Mo always said that was his comfy couch when he came here. When I never liked this couch at all, but when I got sick that time, I get used to it now. It's my favorite couch. I love it.
Nice. I want to talk about something that I don't know if you have heard yet, but the Seattle Kraken are officially the 32nd National Hockey League team.
What's the team?
Seattle Kraken. Seattle Kraken. Is that right, John?
Yep.
Seattle Krakens.
Crackers?
Kraken.
What does that word mean? I don't understand.
It's a sea monster.
Oh, it's a sea monster.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought because they're down underwater there, I thought they will pick a name like the Sharks. You know,
that's what I would have thought so too.
Something fades into the water there, so that's nice.
Yeah.
I hope Hamilton or Quebec gets a team soon.
Well, we were talking about earlier on the show. You should have came on, because what's funny is you look at the Quebec Nordiques. They had a team and they left. They had a very good team, good fan base and all that. And I was saying, why don't you have a team in Saskatchewan, Regina? Why don't you have a team in Nova Scotia and Halifax? Good fan base there. And I look at myself, I say, yes, Quebec could have a team, but at the same time, it would be a negotiation. People would say, yeah, we want a team, we don't want a team. It'd be like a vote, right? So put a team like in Saskatchewan would be very, very nice. I personally love to see that.
You know what I think about hockey? I think about hockey, it's all business. It's not.
Oh, it is at the end of the day.
It's not much of a sport anymore, because the way Gary Bettman looks at it as there's more population in the state. And, well, since they traded Wayne Gretzky from Edmonton to LA to promote hockey down there, and they did that. So look how many teams since LA. They have San Jose, they have Coyotes. Now they have one in Las Vegas. So they did very well, but they're like the promote hockey since Wayne Gretzky moved. And they look at it as a business. So they need more people, more audience, I guess. When he looks at Canada, has enough population to support the teams that it's in. And I have feeling anytime he gets a chance to take a team out of Canada and move it to US, he will. So he's not going to add any more teams here for a very long time.
I don't know. There's not enough Canadian teams. That's why you haven't seen a Canadian team winning the Stanley Cup since '93 with Patrick Roy and the Montreal Canadiens. That was the last time. You know, Ottawa was very close going to the Stanley Cup. They were one game away, and what happens? Game 7, double overtime, I think. The Penguins move on and win. They went to the Stanley Cup against the Predators. I think they won that year. Ottawa was just close.
All the best players, almost like all the good players, they go to US. You know, they play over there. That's why we don't have the chance to win the Stanley Cup like they do, because they're really trying to make hockey more popular over there than here.
Yeah.
So that's why they're taking all the good players over there. It's all business. Like at the end of the day, yes, it's our team. Yes, we want them to win and this and that. And we hate to see somebody getting traded or moved or something. But the bottom line, it's business. You know?
Sports, all sports are businesses, right? I would like to see, a couple more Canadian teams out there. You know, more competition for the Canadian division, but for Canadian people too, because you have a team in Seattle. It'd be nice to have a team in Halifax or Saskatchewan, Toronto versus Saskatchewan, right? It'd be really nice to see that. But I guess you're saying it's all business, right? It is business. You're right.
But you know something, if you look at Buffalo, if you look at Detroit, if you look at Seattle now, even what's that team called?
Vegas?
It's beside Winnipeg. It's in the state there. It's close to Winnipeg.
Minnesota?
Like the audience there is probably 50.
Minnesota?
African American.
The Wild, Minnesota Wild. They're on a real good winning streak these days.
So those teams, to me, they're considered like half and a half American, half Canadian. Because look how many people from Canada go to Buffalo. So they're considered like border.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a lot of Canadian, they go for American team. Like Boston has a lot of fans in Canada too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you
I want to bring up this actually little commercial from the Seattle Krakens. I want to see what your reactions. I think it was a pretty good commercial. And, you know, Seattle had a hockey team many years ago. You're going to see some footage, actually some pictures from back in the early 40s, 50s. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah.
You might like this. Rita Miller is saying, hello, Josiah. Very nice to see you.
Nice to see you guys too. Oh, yeah. You have to cut it and point it like that. Cut it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
See how the commercial, the water. You know, you got Vancouver 3 hours.
Yeah. Yep. So you're gonna get lots of people from Vancouver going there. Yeah. Nice watermelon, guys. Tastes good.
Is it sweet?
I asked Cecilian this, and I'll ask you. You think the Canucks and Seattle will be a big rival down the road? Yeah.
Definitely, of course, 100%.
Yeah. John, go back to your take. I want to go back to your the Steelers. Who they got? Yeah, we were supposed to do that. Sorry.
That's all right. Okay.
This is football fans out there. Attention to all.
Now, this is just for the Steelers. This is the NFL draft. And I just mentioned Nagy Harris for a running back from Alabama. Yeah. So there's a new running back. We need that. We need to run it. The running game was no good at the end of the season. That's part of the problem they had.
Mm.
All right. So I just see one running back. Okay. Pat Friedmoth is a tight end from Penn State. So there's a tight end coming in. Kendrick Green, guard from Illinois. Dan Moore Jr., offensive tackle from Texas A&M. Buddy Johnson, I don't know what that means. ILB.
You mean IB? Linebacker?
Would that be a inside linebacker? I guess Texas A&M. I guess that's what it is.
It could be inside linebacker, yeah.
Isaiah Laundersmith, defensive tackle. He's from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So that's good. We need the guys on the line. So we got some offensive tackle, defensive.
It is definitely some offensive line for the Steelers.
Well, they got a couple guys. Defensive. Quincy Roche, linebacker, Miami. Trey Norwood, linebacker, Oklahoma. And this, I don't know what this means. Presley Harvin III from Georgia Tech. What's a P? What the hell's a P?
Punter could be.
No, that could be the punter, yeah.
I've noticed you guys need more offense, and I've seen some couple guys if you got, and you got a running back. You got a running back.
Better than nothing, but mostly guys on the mostly linebackers.
Look who's in the building. Ladies and gentlemen.
Go Jaguar! Go Jaguar, baby! We got the best. We got the best quarterback ever.
Trevor Lawrence, first round, first pick.
What?
Congrats. How are you, Johnny Savage?
What's up?
Can you hear me,
What's up, guys?
Can you hear me?
Hey, don't Johnny.
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on, man?
I like the background. Look at it. Let's see that for a sec. Show me the background. That's
like a disco.
Yeah, look at him. It's like a Bob McCown over there. The studio. I like that. Oh, yeah. You got the Miller Lite. You got the Hollywood. You got all that. Look at this. You got the Jaguar. Trevor Lawrence beside it. You need. I like that.
A lot of neon.
Johnny Savage, I want to ask you a question. Come back on camera, please, for a sec. If you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Trevor Lawrence is a Jaguar now. Are we going to finally see the Jaguars back to the AFC Championship?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowls in the future, but I'm talking about the next few years. Where do you think Trevor Lawrence will end up as a QB? Will he have a good season, an okay season, or do you think he'll be like a Patrick Mahomes? Because this guy's phenomenal. He played for Clemson, all of his college ball, and I really believe that Trevor Lawrence is the next big shot in the NFL.
I'm sorry, but Joe Budden, you're in the echo. But I was just saying, I think. I'm an echo.
You're echoing, I think, yeah.
I think that he's gonna end up he'd be like Tom Brady.
You think Trevor Lawrence will be the next Tom Brady? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I did.
Trevor Lawrence will be the next Tom Brady. That's what you think?
Yeah, I think he is.
No.
Yes.
I gotta disagree with you on that, buddy. I really do. Because we don't know what Trevor Lawrence is all about in the NFL. We saw him in college ball. We saw him in Clemson. He did phenomenal in Clemson. But how much will he take in the NFL, and how good will the Jacksonville Jaguars be in the next few years, and especially this upcoming season, Johnny? Telling you this right now, the Jaguars will be a good team, but I don't want to see a Super Bowl contending team out of them for the next 5 years. You might be upset.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. You got a quarterback. I just think you guys need some more defense and a good linebacker and a lot of a good line, a solid line that can cover Trevor Lawrence. Look at Big Ben Roethlisberger. Look at Big Ben. He's always getting hit. They need a line. If you can have a line like Tom Brady, maybe Trevor Lawrence will be the next Tom Brady in the next 20 years or in the next decade. So fingers crossed. I hope your Jaguars do well. I love Trevor Lawrence. I'm a fan of him. Congratulations. He went to Jacksonville. You guys damn deserve to be in the playoffs one day.
But Joe Booney, I think we have a great coach. The coach we got, he don't like to lose, and he's a great coach.
Who is your coach again?
It's I'm kind of drunk right now, so I'm sorry.
Oh,
You know, any team to win the they have to go through Tom Brady first. Nobody has a chance with that guy around.
Yeah,
Tom
he
Brady
sure
is
is.
number. Everybody has to wait for Tom to retire to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not really.
Both Johnny's on. Can you both hear?
John Leonardo, what's up, John Leonardo? What's going on, brother?
You can't hear us? What?
I can hear you. You're echoing, Joe.
Did you hear, Mr. Savage? Did you hear what I said about Tom Brady?
You're echoing big time.
He's having a hard time here.
Johnny Savage, leave and come back.
The way
Okay.
I looked at Tom walking the other day,
Yeah, he's coming back. I kicked him off. He'll come
he's
back.
coming back.
Yeah.
You kicked him out.
But
Oh.
let's see. Better now, Johnny Savage?
Yeah, it's better.
Just make
Oh,
sure.
that's better. That's better now.
There we go.
Much better.
I said Tom Brady.
It's Josiah. It's you, the one who was echoing, actually.
Yeah, I
Johnny.
can't hear him.
Johnny Savage. Can you hear?
I can hear you, but
Why?
yeah, he's echoing big time.
I said. I looked at Tom Brady walking the crooked to one side.
One sec, guys. You guys take over. Just give me
Who's
1 second.
laughing?
I got to go fix Josiah.
Is that you, Joe?
No, Mr. Lunata's takeover.
I'm doing a podcast. Okay, you want to come in?
I don't have a choice here, okay? I don't have a choice.
I'm doing a podcast. I did a podcast.
Where'd Joe Booty go? Joe Booty left.
My hair. Because I don't want to get in the
That looks like, is that the party room?
Yeah, it's
Where's all the action? Where's all the
a
action?
party. It's a party in my house.
I think
A
so.
bunch of girls.
Oh, well, there you go.
And you don't even invite Joe Booney, Johnny Savage. How nice that one is, man. Come on.
Is that better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Better now?
You want to get in?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I'll get you a bikini. No, I'll get you.
No. Just give me whatever.
Johnny Savage, I got to say one thing, man. I got to say one thing. I see all those pictures on Facebook and social media you post, you and your wife. What a beautiful couple you guys are. Radisson Cougars.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Can you hear us, Josiah?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. hear me good, Johnny?
Look at these guys. Look at the party. What is happening within the song?
Yes.
Look at the party. No COVID down there, folks.
The minute you give me one, you got for me.
My goodness, Johnny Savage over there.
Yeah, he's got a hot tub party going.
He does. You still there, Joe?
He's there.
Yeah, I'm here.
That's our entertainment for the night. I
Johnny's
think.
the wild man.
He is wild.
Sure
He had
is.
he had too many
Johnny's a wild-
Coronas.
That's why he wants to go to California. I see why now. But anyways, we're running out of time.
Be nice
We're
to go there. No snow, hot all year.
What?
To live out in California, you can grow any fruit tree. You can live on the beach all year round. I think
Yeah.
it's always nice and warm.
Yeah,
We gotta
LA
go
is-
there on the trip someday.
LA is warm.
Someday, yeah.
See San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think somehow I like San Francisco. I don't know why. I think that's the old
That's a
part
nice
of
area.
California there, San
Yeah.
Francisco's area.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to go down there and see it.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
what's going on with the football now? They finished the draft?
I
draft.
don't know. Is it over? Is it
think we're
over?
Yeah.
Is it-
yes.
or tomorrow still or not?
We're gonna look right now. I'll double check.
I thought it was 3 days or something.
It is. It's 3 days. Yes.
Oh.
So,
So so you said the P is a punter, eh? Okay. All right.
P must be a punter. Yes. Who?
Must be. I can't think of anything else. Well,
What's the punter's name again?
Presley Harvin III.
Presley Harvey the third.
Pretty fancy name.
That is a fancy name. You guys need some fancy names out there.
Well, at least we got some linebackers and tackles.
Yeah.
But one running back, I don't know if that's going to cut it. I don't know who else. They need more than one guy, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't know who they got right now left. Connor's gone, and I think Schnell's
Did Tampa
gone.
get anybody?
Oh, you know who they got, Joe.
Tampa, did they
No.
get
Tampa
anybody?
Bay.
No.
Joe, they got 25 of their players back.
25 of their players back.
Who?
25 of their players or 24 of their players
You got
are
what?
back with the team.
No
Yeah.
way.
And they signed
Yeah,
they re-signed
good team.
Antonio Brown. They re-signed Antonio Brown for a 1-year contract. So Brown's back with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. We don't know when Tom Brady will leave. We don't know when Tom Brady will retire. But in King Oose's words, he's a donkey, he's garbage, he's not a good quarterback. I wish King Goose was right here right now because Josiah will be on his ravishing cougar gluteus maximus butt. King Goose, he's all over the place. I think he's actually the donkey one, everybody. Yeah? He's the donkey. Nobody else is.
Yeah.
You know what? Doesn't matter whether you like Tom Brady or not.
He's fantastic.
You have to respect the guy.
The guy's talented. That's a for sure.
Huh?
He's the ultimate talented
The guy's a
quarterback.
winner. You have to respect.
And they have a
He
good
won
defense.
more Super Bowl than any.
That's right.
Like
And they,
some people, they compare him to Michael Jordan. Wayne Gretzky. He is up there with them too.
oh yeah.
Is up with those guys.
He's
For
up
sure.
to he's the greatest.
He's with the best.
There's
You
no
can't-
there's
like-
no greater quarterback. There's no smarter quarterback out there than Tom Brady. He's the
You have to
mindset.
respect
he
him.
has
You have
is
to
phenomenal.
like him. Doesn't matter what. You have-
Well, I do. I have respect for him all day. You know.
Look at the team he's got
I
though.
look at it this way. I usually tell everybody, whether you like him or not, this guy is making history, and who knows would ever will be broken or not? I don't know, but this guy is making history, and
Sure.
by watching it, we are a part of the history that watching with him. It's like it's for generation to come. Like especially you, Joe, 21 years old. You have long time. You can tell people that you watched one of the greatest quarterback, and you might, live all your life knowing that nobody broke his records.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
that's very special. That's very, very special.
It is
Like,
special.
football is a hard game to play. It's not like hockey.
Mhm.
And
Sure.
like, it's part of history. Like, even when you're 50 years old, you're talking about football, you're gonna tell new generations. One time was a quarterback by name Tom Brady. He won this, he won that. So it's all history.
I'm gonna
It's
tell
all
my
history.
beautiful. I'm gonna tell
You
my
can't
beautiful
take that away
nephew, Noah Saya, the man himself, the king. That is the king of kingdoms. He's gonna be the one who's witnessing a Tom Brady. Watch, I'm telling you, Noah's something else. That guy has a lot to learn. That kid,
Did I tell you what he won today? He want to go to Tim Horton to get a donut with the sparkly on it and get
Yeah.
a muffin and a bagel. He did.
That's
He
Noah
was
for you.
hungry this morning.
I bet.
He's a good kid. He's a
was
very,
hungry.
very intelligent kid for a 2.5-year-old. He knows all the alphabets. This guy's gonna pass school. This guy's just gonna go whip these kids. I'm talking about whip them. He's going to college, man. This guy's the next big thing in the world, man. Noah Sai out there, guys. Robbie Sai is the father. Joe Sai is the grandfather. And just watch. History's about to be made by Noah Sai in a few years. Don't ever estimate Noah Sai. Trust me.
Yeah. He was on the beach today.
Yeah.
Me.
But folks,
His
I'm
father
getting
was on
tired.
the beach.
We've been on for over 2 hours. We haven't had a 2-hour show for a very long time. I know, John, it's 11:31 over there, and I'm getting tired. It's midnight here in Ontario.
I'm ready to go to sleep.
It's a new day.
It's a new
my
day.
battery's
And,
dying, guys.
Oh, yeah.
okay, Joe, I'll see you up in a minute.
Johnny, new day in paradise.
Yeah, that's right.
Tomorrow the weather's supposed to be nice. I did my garden today.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to visit my buddy in White Oaks.
Yeah.
I might go around, hang out till about 12 o'clock till I come home. The wife will be up and ready. Maybe we go out, get some plants or something from somewhere to plant in the garden.
Oh, yeah.
She said that some grows them home, so I might go buy them private or something like that because everything's closed now. You can't buy anything, huh?
No, it's hard. It's
I wanna
hard for you
When do
guys.
you think it's good time to start?
You're cutting out, Joe.
Yeah.
I-
Yep.
When's good time to start gardening?
Well, you guys still have risk of frost, right? So, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. So, what's May now? So,
Probably not. I've been looking at the weather forecast. I think next week here in Ontario, the weather's supposed to be nice.
maybe it'll straighten out for you, and then you're all right. As long as you don't get any frosts, you can start a
day-
garden.
The one stay warm at night.
Rita, is it cutting out, Rita? Yeah, you're cutting out,
Who's that?
Joe.
Well, a little bit, yeah, a little bit on and off. But
Okay, guys, I'm going to sleep. Good night.
good night. So P is punter. That's okay then, I guess.
No
Well-
problem.
So
Folks,
okay. I guess these are all positions like left back, eh?
mhm,
Would that be an LB?
it must be, yes.
Inside linebacker must be ILB. Defensive tackle would be DT, and offensive tackle would OT. The rest is easy. Tight end, guard, right, running back, and punter, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, they picked up some players. No receivers there, but they do have some receivers anyway. Oh, it'll be interesting to see.
You got Juju Smith. You got Juju who's back. He took a pay cut to stay with the Steelers.
Claypool, we got Claypool and
Mike Tomlin signed a 3-year extension with you guys. Tomlin wants to be with Roethlisberger to the end of his career. We don't know how long we don't know how long Big Ben will be in the
No.
NFL quarterback, but we know at least he will have one more year with
I
this
think
team. Big Ben will have a good year this year.
if they gotta get what's the word? I think I don't know. At the end of the season, they kind of lost confidence in themselves, and they have to rebuild their confidence too, and get back on the playing as a team, and get the winning attitude. Like Sicilian said, Vancouver just folds all the time. Well, the Steelers folded for the last 5-6 games of the season. They folded after winning 11 or 12 in a row. So you never know. But they got to change their thinking as well as some new players would help. Get back on the track, and they should be okay. I hope so. We'll see. Anyway.
Anyways, I wanna thank the viewers. I want to thank the chat. You guys kept the chat entertaining tonight, from Rita Miller to Johnny Savage, mostly Rita.
Johnny Savage.
We had Cameron on.
Yeah.
Hi, Joe. We had Ian Ellis who came on, popped in and said hello.
Oh, yeah?
We had some great people. Melanie we had a lot of good people on the show today. We had a lot of good people on the panel, but we had a lot of good people in the chat too. So.
Yeah, the chat. There's more people. You don't see that from here on this, our system.
No, because you got to click this, you got to do this. So
yeah,
click
yeah.
right. I have control for that.
Johnny Savage is having a savage party down there.
I want to say one thing before I let you go. Episode 11, Mr. Lodonatus, you nailed it. You nailed it. Nailed the coffin.
For what?
Everything you said, you said how you said it was right on point. Even Roger Madawi agreed with you.
Oh, that's good. No, Roger's all right. That was good. He came on.
Yeah.
You don't see him on very often.
No, you don't. You don't.
Now this is a good thing now, this StreamYard. You can get, it's a type of Zoom situation. It's pretty good. I like it. It's a good format, I think.
It is. And
but
it's probably the best platform out there. It
seems to work pretty well.
You could use this as a PowerPoint in school too.
Oh yeah, you sure would.
It's really good. So
you could instruct. You could be an instructor or whatever.
Yeah.
And have a couple. Well, I mean, I don't know. Tutoring in a situation for tutoring would work.
I think this should be better than Zoom, to be honest with you, because I've had problems with Zoom. My internet's been horrible.
Zoom is.
We're doing really well.
Zoom is. I don't know. The first time I tried Zoom, it was tricky to get on. I had to play around, and it wasn't good. But the second time was better. So I think it was just they didn't have it set up properly. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's okay as long as the link is good. Usually you're all right either way. But I don't know. But anyway, this is a good setup. I like it.
Yes.
But, hopefully these picks for these Steelers will work out, and all the different people have their teams.
We will talk about very soon about the NFL draft. We'll cover all the NFL draft in the season.
Yeah.
Wednesday, the NFL schedule for every single team in the National Football League will be out. So I wanna cover all the Steelers schedule, the Packers schedule, the rumors with that. I haven't covered anything about
Aaron Rodgers.
One certain player. Yeah, I am just keeping my mouth closed right now.
Yeah,
I'll say one thing only. I don't know. I don't blame him one bit. I'll only say
take it one day at a time. Figure it out. See what they come up with.
Yeah. But I do not blame him at all. That's all I'll say.
No, I wouldn't blame him either. If I thought it was, I don't know, just a couple things that went on last year that.
I have a lot.
He's a veteran quarterback. He's probably after Brady's probably the next best quarterback, and for his age and that, and I don't know. I think the thing they might have pissed him off just enough, that he might.
I have a lot on my chest to say about that, but I'm just going to keep my mouth closed. Right now.
I know. I don't
want to start getting.
He loves the team. He likes the teammates. It wouldn't be that. It would be the management.
Fans. He loves the fan base.
It would be the management, and that would be what's going on, and the coaching.
Yeah.
Right there. That's what would be the problem. So, hey, there's been a lot of shakeups, and who knows? Some will work out and some won't. But with quarterbacks, I mean, like switching teams and stuff. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
As far as Trevor Lawrence going to
Jacksonville, the Jaguars.
Well, that'll be good. I mean, he's got to start somewhere, and but
he'll do well in Jacksonville.
As long again, he has to have coverage. you know, when he has protection, he's a fantastic quarterback. I followed a few of his games in Clemson, and I mean, when he's on, he's on. But you saw the Super Bowl with Brady against Mahomes, and the Buccaneers just took them apart. Their defense was so good, and the offense was unreal. People weren't expecting the Chiefs to fold like they did, and Mahomes just couldn't get going because he was so flustered. He was jumping around like a little, I don't know what, and he didn't even have, he couldn't get a decent pass off if he tried, but he wasn't protected. You need your protection of your line for the quarterback. I don't care how good your quarterback is at scrambling. You can only scramble so much. You're either going to get sacked, or in his case, he was going backwards all the time. He was losing yards. Mm-hmm. So that was for a Super Bowl. It was great for Brady, but it wasn't very good as far as competitiveness. It was kind of a lousy game, to say the least. Last two Super Bowls have been crappy games. They weren't good. One was low scoring, and that one was just a blowout. But you never know with Super Bowl.
You never know.
No.
But,
anyway, we'll say
guys,
good night.
Good night, John. You're going to play the United States national anthem. If you want to stay on camera, stand up for the national anthem. I usually get you off, but sometimes I like to have you on while the national anthem is played because I know you're from Texas, and I like playing the U.S. national anthem, the red, white, and blue. It means a lot.
You do both anthems every time.
So to all out there, thanks for tuning into Joe's Sports Channel, and God bless you all.
No King Goose tonight.
No King Goose, no.
What happened to him, I don't know.
Love this thing. I love this shit. Thank you, guys. We'll see ya.